Have you ever paused to ponder what life would be like if money didn't exist? A world without the clinking of coins, the rustle of banknotes, credit card swipes, or the relentless updating of bank balances. A world where the concept of wealth is turned on its head. A curious thought, isn't it? Let's venture into the realm of the hypothetical and imagine a world where money has simply vanished. Poof! Just like that, all bank accounts, cash, and coins are suddenly worthless. No more dollars, euros, yen, or rupees. No more vaults of gold or silver. Nothing. It's a world where the economic structures that we've grown so accustomed to just don't exist anymore. Now meet John. John is just like you and me. He wakes up one day, ready for another ordinary day, only to discover that money no longer exists. Imagine his surprise, his confusion. He reaches for his wallet, only to find the once valuable pieces of paper and metal now meaningless. His bank account, once a measure of his financial security, now stands empty. Not because he's broke, but because the concept of money itself is no more. John looks out of his window, only to see a world where the bustling markets have turned into chaos, where the financial district stands silent, where the concept of buying and selling has been tossed out of the window. It's a world turned upside down, a world where the normal rules just don't apply anymore. What does this mean for John? What does this mean for the world? How do people react when the very basis of their economic existence disappears? Do they panic, or do they find a new way to trade, a new way to live? These are the questions we're about to explore. So fasten your seatbelts as we dive into John's world, where money is a thing of the past. What could possibly happen? Let's find out. In the absence of money, the initial reaction would be chaos. Imagine the world as we know it turned upside down. The catalyst? The sudden disappearance of money. Picture this. John, a regular guy like you or me, steps into the grocery store one day only to find a scene of utter pandemonium. Shelves are being emptied at an alarming rate as people rush to grab what they can. The concept of paying, now a memory, has been replaced by a free-for-all. The grocery store, once a place of orderly commerce, has transformed into a battlefield of survival. As John watches, he sees the police arrive, sirens blaring. Yet they are not equipped to handle such widespread disorder. They are overwhelmed, trying to maintain some semblance of control in a world that has lost its financial bearings. This scene, chaotic as it may be, paints a vivid picture of human behavior in times of crisis. When the familiar structures that govern our lives suddenly vanish, it seems we are all too quick to abandon civility. The absence of money, it appears, doesn't just change our economic system, but reveals a darker side to our human nature. But let's not forget, this is just the initial reaction. The sudden shock of a world without money has sent us spiraling into chaos. But is this where we stay? Do we remain in this state of frenzy, each man for himself, or do we evolve? Can we adapt to a world without the familiar crinkle of paper money or the metallic jingle of coins? As John navigates the chaos around him, he can't help but wonder. He looks at the empty shelves, the frantic people, the overwhelmed police, and he asks himself, what comes next? The disappearance of money has tipped the scales of order into chaos, but it has also opened the door to possibilities. Possibilities that could reshape our society in ways we never imagined. As John stands amidst the chaos, he finds himself not just fearing the future, but curious about it. In the midst of chaos, John wonders, what comes next? With money out of the picture, we would likely revert to the oldest form of commerce, bartering. Picture this. In a world without currency, John, like many others, finds himself needing to adapt. No longer able to rely on cash or credit, he begins to trade items and services directly with his neighbors. It's a return to a simpler time, where the value of goods and services is not determined by market trends or stock prices, but rather by the immediate needs of the individuals involved in the trade. John has a knack for fixing things, so when his neighbor's fence breaks, he offers his skills in exchange for food. It's a straightforward trade, his time and expertise for the sustenance he needs. And he's not alone. Throughout the community, similar exchanges are taking place. Individuals are rediscovering the value of their skills, their possessions, and their time. The baker bakes bread not for money, but to trade for fresh vegetables from the local farmer. The mechanic fixes cars in return for home-cooked meals. The teacher tutors children in exchange for house-cleaning services. It's a system of mutual benefit, built on the foundation of human connection and cooperation. But it's not all smooth sailing. What happens when the goods you have to offer aren't needed by the person who has what you need? Or when the value of goods and services is hard to agree upon? And how do you store wealth when wealth is now in the form of perishable goods or services that can't be stockpiled. Yes, the barter system comes with its fair share of complications. It requires negotiation skills, a sense of fair value, and a community willing to cooperate and adapt. It's a far cry from the convenience of our modern money-based economy. Yet, in a world without money, it's a start. It's a way to ensure that goods and services continue to flow, that people's needs are met, and that society continues to function. The barter system is not without its flaws, but it's a start. As time goes on, society would inevitably evolve and adapt to a world without money. In this new realm, where currency has been replaced with the barter system, society would undergo a significant transformation. Our friend John, who we've been following throughout this journey, begins to notice a shift in people's priorities. No longer are individuals chasing after the elusive dollar, but instead, they are investing their time and energy into developing useful skills and growing their own food. Imagine this: a world where the value of a person is not measured by the size of their bank account, but by their ability to contribute to the community. A world where the rat race slows down enough for people to truly appreciate their surroundings and the fruits of their labor. As the pace of life eases, art and creativity begin to flourish. People are no longer confined to the monotonous 9-to-5 grind. Their minds now free to explore and create. Painters, musicians, writers, and all manner of creatives would have the opportunity to enrich their communities with their talents, without the fear of financial instability looming over them. The potential for this new society is limitless. A society that values skills, creativity, and community over wealth and status. A society where the success of one individual doesn't come at the expense of others, but instead contributes to the collective growth and prosperity. This is not to say that this world would be without its challenges. Indeed, the journey to this point would be fraught with difficulties and uncertainties. But as we've seen throughout history, society has an incredible capacity to adapt and evolve in the face of adversity. So, can we envision a world where money is obsolete? A world where people are valued for their skills and contributions rather than their financial worth? Where creativity and community are the cornerstones of our existence? A world without money could lead to a whole new way of living, one where skills and creativity take center stage. So would a world without money be a utopia or a dystopia? We've walked through the chaos, barter systems, societal evolutions, and the potential for a skill-based, community-oriented society. It's a complex mix of pros and cons, isn't it? This thought experiment challenges us to ponder on the essence of value, beyond mere coins and paper bills. Life without money is a fascinating thought experiment, isn't it? It forces us to question what truly matters and how we define value in our lives.